Yo, what's up, peoples? Moon616 coming back at you with another entry in my top personal 25 hip-hop groups of all time. In at number 15, cracking the top 15, is no other than Atlanta's most famous group, Outkast. You can hear it playing in the background. I mean, everybody knows this group. I think, you know, made up of Andre 3000, Big Boy, and Big Boy. Their debut record here, that was, I think, fully recorded in 93, came out in 94. Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music. Now, I couldn't bump this record enough. Back in the day, I borrowed my buddy's tape. And before I even gave it back to him, I went and bought my own copies on tape. I played the shit out of this. I love this record. I mean, it was nothing I'd ever heard. You know, in '93, this Southern kind of music. Southern music back in '93 was a lot different than it is in 2012. Let's put it that way. And everybody, that's a totally different discussion. But Outkast came out of the South, just throwing darts, man, throwing like spitting flames. Even the fucking intro on this record's playing right now is sick. But this, to date, is still my favorite Outkast record because it is the debut, and it just because it had so much influence on me. I love this record so much, everything about it. Pretty much the whole structure of this record I love too. Even like, you know, the interludes and stuff are really cool. Like I like the interludes. My favorite tracks on here, my favorite song on this record is Claimin' True. I love that track so much. I think it's just got a really cool vibe to it. The cool thing about this record is like it's Outkast kind of pimp Cadillac record, and that's definitely the coolest thing about Outkast is how they kind of do a different concept to every record, and it sounds completely different. That's one thing about Outkast that is, you know, you're always going to get a different sounding record with the next one. You know, I love Deep on here is sick, man. Get Up, Get Out. Yeah, Crumbling Herb, fucking Players Ball, of course. Call of the Wild, Ain't No Thing, Southern Playlist, Cadillac. I mean, every song on this record's awesome. It's classic. It's not even a personal classic, it's a classic record. Everybody should own this. Get it if you don't own it. To the sophomore record released a couple years later, 1996, ATLians. Which by most people think that this is their best record. That's totally cool. I absolutely love this record. I adore this record. Can't even show the album art because, well, you know, it's boobs and vagina. But ATLians. Now this record blew my fucking socks off when I heard it, man. I could not listen to this record enough as it was Southern Playlistic, but this album has that kind of space vibe to it that, you know, it's got that comic book cover. Just the whole fucking vibe of this record, right from Two Dope Boys and a Cadillac, man, down ATLians. It's got that really creepy vibe kind of thing to it. I love it. Wheels of Steel, Jazzy Bell. I mean, Elevators. Or not creepy, the ATLians. I was thinking Elevators. That really slow kind of drone down beat, love that shit. 13th Floor, awesome, mainstream. But lyrically, this album's sick, man. It's completely different than Southern Playlistic, and as is the sound. Awesome shit, man. ATLians, classic record. A lot of people consider it to be their best record. It's up for debate, but you know, it's all personal choice, right? Awesome shit. Into the third record, I believe this album, Equipment I got 5 mics in the Source. I mean, the Source always cracks me up some of the albums that, I mean, giving Little Kim's album 5 mics was fucking hilarious to me, but whole nother discussion. I'm blabbling on. But onto Equipment I. Now this record's really cool. I love Scoot on the Barbie, man, with Raekwon. Love that track so much. Obviously Equipment I is a dope song. The artist storytelling, 1 and 2 is really cool. Now it's interesting because the song West Savannah on this record, track number 8, West Savannah, was originally recorded for this album right here. It was left off the album for whatever reasons, but you can tell when you listen to this album has a very, very distinctive feel to it. It's very different from those two, except for West Savannah. It sticks out on this record solely for the reason that it was recorded for Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, and you can tell it's got that vibe to it. Love that track though. Conky Fire is really fucking cool on here. Rosa Parks, obviously, Return of the G. Spotty Audie Dope Delicious, man, that's a fucking really cool track. So Outkast really started to make really different kind of tracks on their records and shit. Awesome stuff. You know, I think it's a personal classic of mine too. I think it's a great record. And then on to basically Outkast's, you know, breakout kind of mainstream album. Totally mainstream. This is when they went mainstream. From the song Miss Jackson, you know, that song debuted and it blew the fuck up. And I actually got a funny story. I was in HMV one time and I was looking at a record or whatever, and there was these two kids beside me and they were probably about 12 years old. And the one kid turns to the other kid and he's holding this album and he goes, "Oh, have you heard about this new group Outkast?" And it made me laugh out loud because I was like, wow, that new group Outkast, you know, this is their 4th album. And their previous 3 were all personal classics of mine. It just made me laugh just how kids are. That new group, oh, I gotta pick up that, you know, that Miss Jackson song. But anyways, you know, this is when their sound really kind of elevated into the kind of mainstream and stuff, and which isn't, you know, like I said, I'm not a big mainstream fan, but I respect Outkast for what they do because they're very, very creative and they always hold it down. Obviously Miss Jackson was that breakout track. Bombs Over Baghdad was fucking unique and cool. Love that song. Explosion with Be Real is sick, man. Fucking gangsta shit, man. There's so many good tracks in here. Spaghetti Junctions is an interesting track. So Fresh, So Clean. Everybody knows that track. Kind of like the remix, actually. I think Snoop was on the remix. Yeah, it's a really cool, it's a different album. It's got a very, very interesting vibe for a mainstream breakout album. It's, you know, I wouldn't say it's fully like a mainstream sounding album, but Miss Jackson definitely did it for him. You know, whatever, it is what it is. It's definitely a Stankonia, it's definitely a, you know, worth owning album. And then on to the Speaker Box Love Below double album, which is basically just 2 solo records in one package. First we'll talk about Big Boy's Speaker Box album. You know, the sound was completely south, very mainstream sounding, but very, very, very dope. I thought it was really cool, man. Like, I really, really love this record, man. You know, it's just interesting because they were doing totally separate things at this time. Like, this one blew me away. After listening to Speakerbox and popping just to The Love Below and hearing Andre's album and him singing, and I think he raps like 2 verses on the entire album. Fucking, I had to listen to it a couple times to get into it, but everybody know, you know. Anyways, so Speakerbox, I really like this record, man. Like, like the beats are fucking weird and like hypey and shit, but I don't know why I like this album so much. But Ghetto Music is super sick, man. You know, the way you move. You know, that track is just so mainstream sounding, but it's fun. It's fun. I love Church. Tomb of the Boom is cool, man, with Big Gibber that's on it from Goody Mob. Bowtie was fun, you know, whatever, Unhappy Bowtie. You know, there's cool tracks on it. It's such a fucking interesting sounding album compared to The Love Below. Get into Love Below. I've got this insert thing. This is actually the thing that comes on the outside here. Now, Andre, even Big Boy said that Andre was going through like a weird period in his life and doing some weird shit, and this is a very reflection of what he was going through at the time. Everybody knows the song Hey Ya, and then that's a perfect example of like, the fuck did that song come from? It's so bizarre. I mean, I like it. It's a cool song. It's interesting. Roses is cool. Prototype, like, I actually really like the vibe of this record, to be honest, man. A Day in the Life of Benjamin Andre. Now, I think that's a song that he actually raps and then it just ends. You know, what is the other song I'm thinking of? I think it's Love and War, man. That's such a weird fucking track, but you know, most people that listen to Outkast have this record, so you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk too much more about it. And then on to Idlewild, basically the soundtrack to the movie. Got that really cool lenticular cover. Now this is when Outkast kind of angered me a little bit. Now this album isn't bad, but the problem is like the last 5 or 6 tracks on this record, I find that it felt like they were just thrown on this album, man. Like, thrown on. Thought it was absolutely treacherous towards the end. I didn't mind some of the songs in here. It's definitely not my most favorite thing to listen to, but you know, and it's weird because I do like the song Hollywood Divorce, and it does have Lil Wayne on it. Hate me. I don't like Lil Wayne in the I like the vibe of that track though. It's actually kind of a cool vibe. You know, Peaches is cool. What's the other song on here? I can't even, honestly, I haven't listened to this album in a while, I can't remember, but all I know is that it really tails off towards the end of it, and I'm just like, whatever. But, you know, I do recommend every Outkast record. You know, all 6 of their studio albums. I don't know what's going on with Outkast in the present moment, but I know that apparently they're working on solo stuff. I don't know. Apparently they're supposed to be doing a group album. I don't know. I haven't really, you know, kept up on the info on Outkast, but you know, Outkast, classic group, number 15 in my list. So, you know, it is what it is. Moon616 signing off. Thanks for subscribing and watching. Peace.